The passage I'd like to look at today is Acts 9, verse 11 to 15. The passage begins with the Lord telling Ananias to go to Saul and lay his hands on him so that he can recover his sight. The word used for go there in Greek is poreuteti. It's a command, and it's a command that is in the aorist aspect. That means basically that the idea of going is thought of as a simple occurrence. The Lord says go, and when he says go, he has the simple and complete idea of going in his head. Consequently, it also means it's new. The idea of going hasn't been brought up in the conversation yet. It's not on the table yet, so to speak. Ananias then explains to the Lord some of the difficulties involved in his going to Saul. The Lord then repeats himself, tells Ananias to go, and this time it says poreu. It's the same word, and it still means go, but this time it doesn't have an aorist aspect, it has a present aspect. That means the action is thought of as drawn out, and consequently is not new to the conversation. It should be going on already. In other words, the Lord is saying to Ananias, go, and your going should already be happening. One might translate this as, be on your way. The Old Geneva and King James translations capture this well when they translate the first go as go, and then the second as go thy way. As in Ananias, you know the way to go, now go. In other words, lurking behind this verb is some impatience. And this impatience on the part of the Lord brings out some of the drama and emotion implicit in the passage. After the Lord said go the first time, Ananias explains to him all the difficulties involved in his going. Understandably, he says, look, you're basically sending me to the guy who wants to arrest, try, and possibly execute me. In modern terms, we might say, look, you're basically sending me to one of the sergeants of the Gestapo. But the Lord responds with a slightly impatient poreu, be on your way. It's impatient, but behind the impatience, there is a merciful and instructive rebuke. What he is saying to Ananias is, I know all of this, and what you fail to realize is that I am in control of absolutely everything. The Lord reminds Ananias, in other words, of his sovereign power. And there are several other indications in these verses of the Lord's sovereign power. The Lord calls this Saul a skeos ekloges, which is either a chosen vessel or a chosen instrument. In light of the fact that this skeos is going to carry, that is bastasai, the Lord's name throughout the known world, to keep the metaphor, it probably means vessel. Saul is going to be the passive transporter of God's message. The Lord also says that he is going to teach this Saul everything that he must, and here you might expect the word do, poiein in Greek, but that's not what we get. Instead we get patein, to suffer, to undergo. And this verb patein is actually just the passive version of the Greek word for do, poiein, as we learn in Plato's dialogue, the Euthyphro. In other words, the Lord is going to teach this Saul everything, not that he must do, but everything that must be done to him. Paul is going to be the passive vessel. It's the Lord who is the active originator in all of this. And this is what he reminds Ananias of. Poreu, he says, be on your way. You've forgotten that I'm in control. Even if it looks like I'm sending you to knock on the door of the headquarters of the Gestapo. So that's the point I wanted to make for today. Many times the fine points of language, even the aspect of a repeated verb, bring out implicit drama and emotion lurking behind a passage. So that's today's peek at the Greek. I hope it's been in some way helpful and encouraging.